Welcome to today's episode of News for You. It's a Friday, guys, and I feel like today it's just update. Today on the headlines, we have parties on the sovereignty bill. Not only that, Ggaba trials updates. I'm going to be updating you on this and so much more. Let's dive in. Now, the opposition political parties have come out to strongly reject the controversial sovereignty bill currently before Parliament. The opposition argues that the proposed law is not in the best interest of Ugandans, but rather a move to consolidate the ruling government's grip on power. They warn that the bill could shrink political space and even affect diaspora remittances, claims that the NRM firmly denies. Here's a breakdown.
Thank you, Bertha. My name is Ian Damwesiga, Julius. I am a legal correspondent with Next Media, and I am here to give a brief recap of this new Protection of Sovereignty Bill 2026 that is being considered by the government of Uganda for introduction to Parliament to enact it as a new law. So, this Protection of Sovereignty Bill comes at the backdrop of government's reaction to policies by international societies which government feels have been of the impact of compromising the independence and sovereignty of the Ugandan government and Ugandan state when it comes to running its public affairs. So the bill is targeting first and foremost funding that comes from international sources, because government feels that international societies can have a grip on our domestic affairs once they fund these affairs through very many different avenues. Therefore, Clause 22 of this bill is suggesting that there be a cap on the maximum amount of funds that can be reduced to transactions either through international lending or through receiving donor funds from abroad or through receiving partnership funds or through receiving grants and pick-outs and handouts from maybe friends in the international society, so that these funds cannot go beyond 400 million in every space of 1 year. What this is looking to do is to make sure that if anyone needs more funding than that, they should be able to reach out to government through the minister they will assign and ask for permission in order to receive more funds than that. But they have set that as the cap of the amount that can be received. Secondly, the bill is looking to expand the grip of who can be described as a foreign person or a foreign agent, not only to people that are non-citizens, but also to citizens who reside and work entirely abroad, to all international organizations and development agencies, to also all locally run projects but that are funded internationally. Therefore, they want to restrict the participation of foreign agents in some select sectors of the economy, like sanitation, like health, like education, like transportation, which they feel it is key for the government to have a grip on and not allow international influencing. Finally, they have introduced a new offense of economic sabotage, which goes to say that any person who publishes or says or authors any material that is prejudicial, that is derogatory, that is injurious to the reputation of the Ugandan economy shall be found to be on the wrong side of the law. So you don't go telling people that Uganda's economy is bad, Uganda is bad for investment, because that will be injuring the interests of Uganda when it comes to international communities. This bill also looks to introduce stiff penalties in case of non-compliance. And for example, once you receive more money from international sources than the threshold maximum money amount set, which is 400 million per year, the government is going to forfeit the money that you have received outside that maximum amount. So for example, if you have a business and you get an international funding of 2 billion, they are going to leave for you the 400 million and they will forfeit 1.6 and take it. And that is on top of the other punishments like prison sentences, like fines. For example, the economic sabotage offense can attract up to a prison sentence of 20 years imprisonment and up to a monetary fine of 2 billion shillings or both. So this stiff penalty regime under the new law looks to encourage strict adherence to the law when it shall be introduced.
Now, in the updates of the ongoing murder trial of Christopher Okello Onyum, who is accused of unaliving toddlers, the caretaker of the rental houses where Onyum was living, Joel Mackay, revealed that the official police search of the premises uncovered 2 additional knives. I saw someone saying that this guy should actually open a knife store right now, but that's a joke for another day. More to this, before court proceedings began, trial judge Alice Komuhanji informed the court that the medical report that she had ordered indicated that Okello is living with sickle cell disease and he is underweight. Do you think these are all stunts, or do you think this is actually real? We'll let you know as the story unfolds. Now, good news is here because the Ugandan government has set up a camp in Lira city where it's preparing to launch Lenacapavir, a groundbreaking HIV prevention drug. Now, the Ministry of Health says that it chose Lira as the starting point for this initiative due to its registration of high HIV prevalence, with estimated 10% of the population affected by the virus. What a milestone for Uganda. Now elsewhere, South African opposition leader Julius Malema, 45, got 5 years in prison for illegally firing a gun in public. Guys, shockingly, this was actually in 2018. You're probably wondering, why wasn't he arrested by then? But the EFF leader wasn't jailed yet because the judge actually allowed him to appeal. And if this sentence stands, he could lose his MP seat for 5 years after prison. Now, Malema said that this case is political and he vowed to fight to the highest court. Supporters rallied outside court, so now we're wondering, what's his stand considering this case? We'll let you know as the story unfolds. And that's a wrap for today. Happy weekend. Please, whatever you're doing, enjoy responsibly. Take care of yourself. See you on Monday.